Yeah, good way to start the season. Just a lot of excitement, obviously, and knew we were playing a really good team. So yeah, just thought the boys did a really good job, and some ups and downs in the game, but thought we hung in there and did a good job.
You've gotten into a couple preseason games before this, but was there kind of a feeling out process going into this game as well, seeing that it's kind of regular season, maybe more intensity to this one?
No, I mean the feeling out process for me was over after preseason, and yeah, I was just ready and excited to go for real last night, and yeah, as was the rest of the team. So just happy that we could start the season like that.
Going up against the Cup champs, there seems to be more depth on this team this year. Just what did you see from the forward group that kind of worked on both sides of the ice?
Yeah, a lot of depth. I mean, just right up and down our lineup. I think you can kind of put anyone out there against anyone, and just a lot of responsible players, and guys that know where to be on the ice and when to make a play and when not to make a play. So thought the D did a good job breaking out the puck, and obviously Ollie was fantastic.
Yeah, one more on the goalie. Just playing with a guy like Linus back there. Just how is it to have that confidence with him in net?
Yeah, I mean, he looks, very confident and very comfortable, and just has a certain swagger about him that is, it's good to see, and I think we feed off that for sure, and yeah, just looking to carry that into tomorrow.
This is a bit of a, well, not a bit of, a lot of a copycat league, and they're the defending champions. Is one of the things you take away from playing and watching a team like Florida is that they might be the only team in the league that plays playoff-style hockey in the regular season. Like, they don't change their game for the playoffs. That's just the way they play.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a really good job the last couple of years, just creating an identity for themselves, and for teams coming in that are playing against them, just to know what kind of game it's going to be. And like I said, yeah, they've built a good culture there, and obviously had a amazing year last year, and yeah, so we knew we were going to have a tough match for sure, but we were excited for it, and it was easy to get up for that game.
Now, with the number of guys in the room having babies right now, I know you don't have a baby, but I was just wondering, with that going on around you, have you thought about learning how to change a diaper? Because someone may ask you to do that in the near future.
I mean, I love babies, don't get me wrong, but that's like the last thing I think I would do. So yeah, I'll do pretty much anything except for change the diaper. Yeah.
Sens debut in the regular season last night. Just how was it for you?
Yeah, it was great. I thought the building was awesome. We came out hard. First period was excellent. Second period, they pushed back pretty good, and we handled it pretty well, I would say. It's interesting and great that we come out with 2 points, and we still feel like there's little things that we can get better at. And we look at video already, and it's exciting going to Montreal and trying to follow it up and then keep getting better.
You mentioned those little things. Playing with Pinto defensively specifically, you guys seem to do a good job. Just what did you see playing on that line together with Amadio as well, and the cohesion you had?
Yeah, I thought it was a good game, and I think we can be even better hopefully, and we can keep improving. Yeah, it was fun having that matchup, trying to be aligned, to be hard to play against, bring in momentum to the team, and obviously if you can chip in offensively is great, but I think as a third line, the rest has to be taken care of before you start thinking about offense, and I think all three of us have that mentality, and we want to go in the O zone and hang on to pucks and be hard to play against and create momentum every single time we're on the ice.
Just one more for you. Playing in front of a goalie like Linus, you've had experience with different goalies throughout your career. Just how was it with Linus back there?
Yeah, it gives you a lot of confidence. He's super calm. He likes to talk in the room too. No, it's been awesome. I think we're lucky to have him, and I think the Sens fan are pretty excited. You could tell from the intro that he got, and well-deserved. Great contract for him and his family too, so we're excited.
So Nick, yeah, just Sens debut last night. Just how was the atmosphere? How was your experience?
Yeah, I thought it was great. Right when we got here, we had the red carpet. All the fans were excited, a lot of energy. So I got you really jacked up for the game, and got out there, and you could feel the excitement in the crowd and in the team, and the guys really excited to get back at it. So it was a fun game.
You played alongside Thomas Chabot. You guys have also played together throughout camp. Just how's it been with Shabby and kind of developing that chemistry with him?
Yeah, it's been easy. I mean, he's obviously a great player, sees the ice well, very skilled. I'm there to bring what I can with the competitiveness and the skating, and then get the puck in his hands as much as possible. I think that'll put our D pairing and our team with some good success if I can do that.
27 block shots last night for the team. Just is that a collective buy-in from everyone to try and direct as much as they can to the outside and to keep it away from Linus?
Yeah, I think it is, and I think it should be. I think there's no shot blockers on the team and not shot blockers. I think everyone's selling out and doing what they can to play D zone, keep the puck out of that, and get the puck moving north and playing offense.
For the guys who were here last year, they know what, for lack of a better term, the system was last year and had been. For you, you were somewhere else, so no matter what it was going to be a new system for you. As far as everybody understanding the way things are going to be, how close do you think you are to everyone getting 100% of, I'm not sure maybe you can get to 100%, but how far along do you think you are after one regular season game and a training camp?
I think we made some huge strides in training camp with those games, getting used to the system. So I think that's where we made up our biggest ground. And I think last night we did a lot of good things, kind of building off that. So there's obviously still areas we got to work on, but I think overall first game against a team like that, a hard game that was kind of, a little bit of an ugly game where there was a lot of chipping and flipping pucks because of how aggressive they play. But I think overall, as a team and systematically, I think we played pretty well.
You must have had an understanding about their headspace going into the game. You were in Washington. You know what it's like when a team is the defending champ, and you're not sneaking up on anybody. I'm sure you had an understanding of what's going through Florida's head every night because everyone's waiting for them now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they know that they bring the best out of every team, and there's a reason for that. They are a good team, and they were a good team last year, and I'm sure they have a plan to be a good team this year. So I think they're ready for every team to bring their best. But with that, we came out ready to play last night, and it was a match at the end of the day. Though they put on some pushes in the second and third there, and we held on.
You talked about strides in the defensive zone. Like, what are those areas where you felt like the team played really well defensively?
Just the structure. I think, like I said, there's areas to work on. I think we spent a little bit too much time in the D zone at a certain point in the second and third there. But while they were having all that old zone time, they weren't getting super high quality chances. They were just trying to get pucks in there, and like you guys said, we were blocking shots. Linus was standing tall back there, so there was a lot of layers for them to have to go through to even get a chance. With that said, we don't want to spend minutes. There was a few times we spent probably 2 minutes in the D zone. We obviously don't want to be doing that, but the structure was really good. And that's what was good to see.
What's it like? What's it like? You guys. I know from last year, and you weren't on this team, but they changed the penalty kill to a different format, to more of a diamond. Like, what's that like as a defenseman to kind of change the way you play? I don't know if that was the same in Washington, but just what's that like?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little different than I'm used to playing, but honestly, it's different. The way we kill, there's a meaning behind it of why we do it, but it's just something you got to get reps at and kind of feel comfortable in. It's a little more protecting the middle and not letting anything get inside. So your immediate reaction when people start to kind of creep, when power plays start to creep in, you want to kind of strike at them and get them out of there. But we're more protecting the middle, holding, giving them, if they want to take shots from the outside. So those are things we just got to get used to, that I'm getting used to. I don't know if the guys are, compared to last year, how they're feeling about it. I thought the special teams was good yesterday, though. So
how long does that take for you to make that? Like, do you feel like you're right there, or is it still a bit of a learning curve?
No, I feel like we're right there. It was pretty uncomfortable in training camp, but we got some reps at it, and obviously the more we do it, the more comfortable we'll get with it.
Tim Stützle talked last night about avoiding doing stupid things that maybe has dogged this team in the past. Coaches talk about doing the little things right. What are some of those little things that lead to success, not only one game, but long term?
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of little details in the game that you don't really notice that make a big difference. But biggest thing for our team, skating and competing, all over the ice, whether that's on the forecheck, back check, closing in the D zone. If we're sprinting everywhere, that makes it a hard team to play against. The little details about managing the puck. We got a lot of skilled guys on this team that want to make plays, and we need them to make plays, and we got to find that line that we got to tiptoe a little bit where, we don't want to try to make too many plays where we're turning pucks over all night, but we can't be chipping and dumping every puck in because we got too much skill on this team. That
when things go wrong for a team, when you make mistakes, or opposite that, when things are going well and the puck just seems to go in the net, does that lead to, I mean, on one hand, does it lead to you shrug your shoulders and go, here we go again? And if things are going well, the confidence builds and then success maybe comes from there?
Yeah, I don't think we should have a mentality where if we make a mistake, it's like, oh, here we go again. It's we should know, guys, so this is a game of mistakes. Guys are going to make mistakes. I think the biggest part is, if one guy makes a mistake, you got four of the guys that are backing him up and working for him. So if we have that kind of mentality, it's going to make it a lot easier to build confidence and make plays.
I don't know if you've been asked this before, just earlier in the scrum, but how much confidence when Allmark's playing so well, does that provide for a defenseman? Does it change almost like you feel a bit more, you can take risk, or like what's that like as a defenseman?
Yeah, no, I'm not. We're not taking any more risks than we normally do, but it kind of builds momentum for our team when our goalie can make huge saves like that and stand tall in the net. So I think a momentum standpoint, it's really good for our team.
I think, first of all, you take something from every game you play. Like the start to our game. Also like, that we hung tight, tough in the third period against a good team that was pushing hard. We spent a lot of time in our zone, but didn't give up a whole lot. And, we've talked about being comfortable in uncomfortable situations. And I thought that was a step in the right direction.
Tim Stützle's obviously scored 2 goals yesterday, but I know you guys have been kind of trying to focus on the defensive end. How would you say he was able to add on the offensive end while also being a defensive presence?
I thought he played well last night. They played against Barkov's line most of the night, which is, tall order just with the style of player that he is. He's good at, everyone knows how good he is defensively, two-way hockey, but he's extremely gifted person offensively too. And that's a tough matchup. I thought they did well.
Tim,
Stützle said last night after the game that you avoided making some of the stupid mistakes, is what he said, that maybe this team has made. It happens to teams in the NHL, you make mistakes, you lose hockey games.
Yeah.
What are some of those stupid things that you didn't do last night that you need your players to avoid?
There's numerous things that can go into that, from your defensive zone coverage reads, being tired and not being focused, not managing the puck, not changing at the right time. Thought we did a pretty good job of that, managing kind of the game within the game.
Your defense parents played pretty even minutes yesterday, although there were some long shifts as well. How much of that is for you to try to get everyone going, kind of not overload anyone, or is that just a happenstance of the game?
I think it just happened with the game. I think as the season goes on, you always kind of see your top 2 pairs play a little more than your third pair, but for the coach to be confident in putting anyone out at any given time is important as well, because there are times in a game where, whether you're hemmed in your own zone or someone has a long shift where you're not going to get the matchup you want, and Bomber's going to learn his comfortability level with all his guys, all the defensemen.
It's one win, a lot of games to go, but how much does it help when you have success, when maybe the players start to develop a little confidence and you try to build this thing brick by brick?
Well, I'd rather win than lose, if that's what you're asking.
How important to try and get them in the mindset, okay, we've been working on these things for a month now, and it worked last night, and let's build on that and go forward, and let's try and win game number 2.
Well, I think that's almost word for word what we talked about this morning. Use it as teaching moments, positively and negatively. There are things in our game that are going to need corrected still. Certain areas of the rink that we still need to get more comfortable in and be better at. But also we did a lot of good things as well. And whenever you win hockey games, there's a better mood amongst the group. Confidence builds when you win. Belief also builds. And like I said, being comfortable in those type of hockey games is important for any team that's trying to win. You look at winning hockey teams, a team like we played last night, they're very comfortable in those kind of trench-like games.
Coach, drilling down on what Tim just said, does that help you with what you've been teaching during training camp to say, you know, if we're hemmed in our zone even for longer than we want, if we don't give up the middle, and they can have all the time they want and the shots they want from the outside, but if we don't get the middle, we can survive those things. Is that one of the things that you drag to the next meeting and say, this is what we've been talking about for whole training camp, protect the middle and you don't give up much?
Yeah, it's one example. You know, there's a lot of different examples that go into teaching from a game like last night, but that's definitely one of them. But also, how do you not get yourself in that spot where you are, you know, defending a little more than you want to? That's also part of it. So, but you know, there's a lot of teams that Florida plays against that have that feeling like they're on top of them, and that's why they won the Stanley Cup.
Maybe just on that, you instilled a different game years prior to starting some of the defensemen. You know, they're saying it took a little bit while to adjust. How would you say today compared to the first?
Good. Yeah, it's steadily improved through preseason. There's been a lot of teaching from Nolan's done a really good job in teaching it and how he's gone about it. So yeah, I like what I've seen so far, but it is definitely something that is a change for them, and they've worked hard on it.
For a coach like you guys are emphasizing keeping, you know, keeping guys away from the middle, but when a team starts to maybe get to the middle, how do you try to change that? Is it just go back to the principles?
Well, hopefully it doesn't get to that point, but we're definitely don't want to be a team that's just holding the middle of the ice and letting teams work the puck around us. That's not, you know, what our system's based around, but there are going to be times when you play good teams and you get tired and they're pressing and they're pinching, and it does get hard to get a puck out.
As a coach and as a player, you were part of rivalries, and maybe that's more hype, maybe that's more a media and fan thing than it is a player-coach thing. Toronto, Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal. Now it's Ottawa, Toronto, and Ottawa is developing a pretty strong rivalry with Montreal as well. Is that felt in the dressing room, or is it just another hockey game when you play a team like Montreal or Toronto?
I can't speak from experience here yet. I know we've played Montreal a couple times in exhibition, but I think rivalries are great for the game. It would make sense that there is one built between two teams that are close proximity to each other, but also rivalries are also built through intense competition, intense times like playoff hockey, and you know, I think it would only grow if all three teams were in the playoffs.
Talked about when there was kind of the melee between the couple teams during preseason with the Habs, that you wanted your team to be emotional. You didn't want them to take away from that. Heading into a game, what's that like as a coach, as your message to being emotional heading into the game? Or
yeah, I mean, the emotions are always part of the game, but I think, you know, having emotional control is vital to winning. You know, and feeling a game out. Some games get more emotional, more intense, but having a mindset of how we want to play is the ultimate goal. We don't want to be a team that's getting emotional over a game that you don't need to get emotional over. Our goal is always going to be to win the hockey game.
Last couple from me, just housekeeping stuff. Did you come out of last night healthy? And number two, have you decided on a goalie for tomorrow?
Yeah, we are healthy, and yep, I have decided. I expect it to be announced when we announce it.
maybe on the goaltending front, you know, you don't really have any back-to-backs. Is that something where you want to get both goalies some looks, or do you want to kind of ride the hot hand?
We have a mindset, but I'm never going to be one to give who my goalies are for the next day or in the future.